Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome to Stream of Card Consciousness. It's good to be back. Been away for a couple weeks. I'm Mark Ford, as always, joined by my friend, my brother up there in the Panhandle, Greg Smith. How you doing today, Greg?
I'm doing great, Mark. I'm just kind of hanging out. Had a pretty low key fourth yesterday, and just excited to be back. We've been in Orlando and running around the state for the last probably week and a half. So just happy to be back and interested to see what you have to say today. We've been talking a little bit, so just more of the same for me. Really, just hot, and yeah, it's just brutal hot. But how have you been? What's going on with you?
Been all
You've got all
right.
kinds of different stuff going on.
You busy? I was just took a roadie up to Washington to see my daughter, and then from there I went to Buffalo to see my dad. Me and Dane, we went to Gettysburg. That was amazing. We've been to Gettysburg a couple times, but she was little, didn't really remember it. So she's like, "Dad, I want to go up to Gettysburg." I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" You don't have to
Yeah,
ask me twice. So we had a good time up to Gettysburg. Um, I drove 3,000 miles total and got one card that I'll show. I picked,
yeah,
I stopped at a few places. I'm like, oh, what a waste of time.
yeah.
So yeah, I drove 3,000 miles. Didn't see any
No,
cards or
no good
anything.
card stops or anything really.
I stopped at a few. It was just
Yeah,
typical. It's the same as everywhere.
right, right. Yeah, Clueless. I actually had some pretty good luck at a show I went to down your way. But other than that, I mean, you go into a store and it's just, where are you guys getting this pricing from? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's book value. So,
and
you
there's a
know,
lot of modern, and it's just not my trip.
right, right. Well, let's see what card you got.
Well, I got a couple other ones I got like on eBay, and
Okay,
then from my spot in Ohio. But
right.
I got this 74 Ryan. Try to
Okay,
clear off that. I got that for a couple bucks. Seeing how you did on your auction with yours, maybe I should auction that bad boy off, because that's a
absolutely.
pretty nice looking card. Picking up a couple of goofy, nonsensical autographs. Actually, the one's not nonsensical, but Taylor Ward,
Okay,
nice on card, nice signature. Decent player, but I got that. Um, and I got this local kid, Logan Allen, auto
yeah, yeah.
rookie. I
He's
like
pretty
Logan
good.
Allen. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So that was nice. I picked that up for a couple bucks. Um, and then this want to be for my room because at the end of the year I gave away all my cards,
Yeah,
other than my Satchel Paige card that I have in my room. I'm not giving
right.
that away, but I give them all away to the kids. But this is one for the room, and it'll be it's a nice lesson. Curtis Pride auto.
Okay.
Um, Curtis Pride was deaf and made it to the
I was
major leagues.
I was going to
So
ask you,
that's
was that the guy that was deaf?
yeah, so that's a good story to the kids. You could do
Absolutely.
that. All things are possible. And then my buddy Kurt Lorkowski, you're familiar with him from on the page. He
Yeah,
chimes in and had a little go around with somebody there. The deal didn't work out too good. He should
right.
not be named, but Kirk's my buddy. He's like my brother. Really, really close with Kirk. So I stopped by and saw him up in Buffalo, and he's got like four. Well, now he's got three, but three are graded. But I finally got the Josh Allen Donruss rated rookie
Nice.
card from my
Okay.
buddy. So I drove 1,500 miles up to Buffalo to get that from my friend, and it cost me a pizza. So
Yeah. Nice.
he, I
Now
got
that's a good rookie, right?
yeah, that's the big gun. And one night, me
Yeah.
and him were surfing and sharking, and I picked up a couple Allen rookies, and he grabbed like three PSA nines, and it was great pricing, and we were having a great time. And then he won this and something, and so he's trying to pay me for the pizza. I'm like, no, bro, come on, man, whatever. So I'm like, here's for take the money back for the pizza, give me that card. So now I got it, and I got it from my buddy, so that makes it really great.
That's awesome. And I have no idea. I know that Mahomes is worth a ton. Doesn't really matter, but that seems like just the base Donruss card from that year are so awesome with the rated
Yeah.
rookie. That's pretty cool. That's
So
that's
I
very cool.
wanted to get it from my brother, that
Yeah.
was I'll
Well,
cherish it.
I'm surprised you didn't have that already.
I did not. I just couldn't like. price is so crazy. They've dipped a little bit, but then when football starts, they'll go back up
Go
once
back
Allen
up.
starts doing his crazy, crazy
Sure.
Josh Allen bit. So they've dipped a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, yeah.
Like a nice one like this raw, you're running 50, $60.
That's
The
pretty good.
PSA
That's
nines are below 100.
yeah.
And then the 10 is anywhere from 250 to $400. So you never
That's
know.
cool. And that's the same set as Mahomes too,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Mahomes was the year before.
Is it? Oh, 17. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
Lamar Jackson,
that's right. And Baker Mayfield, I think, is in that one
Baker
too.
Mayfield, and
Yeah.
Josh Rosen, who was a boss. And,
Yeah,
who
we
else
had
was
our
it?
go round with Josh Rosen.
Yeah,
They traded a second round pick for Josh Rosen. I'm not really sure what that was all
crazy.
about, but yeah. So well, those are cool. What else you got? Any more?
No, that's it. That's all. I haven't really got a lot of cards lately. That's what I pretty much picked up in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that Ryan is really nice too. That Ryan.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
the auctions are crazy. So I mean, if you decide you want to sell it, that'd be the way I would go with
Yeah, I
that kind
mean
of
it's
card.
not perfect, no creases. One corner is a little wonky, but maybe I will. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
Well,
keep it.
I've got some a little bit different now. I got you a couple of autos that I I when I come down there again in August, I'll get you these. So I got a Darren Puppa, or is it
Poopa, yeah,
Puppa?
Poopa.
Puppa?
Yep, he is
Yeah,
good.
a Sabres autograph, and then I also got you a Pete Metzelar's autograph,
Very
tight end.
underrated tight end. Thank you.
He was a starting tight end for the four Super Bowl Bills,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Okay,
Yeah, he
so
was he
that's
was a
yeah.
great player.
A couple of autos I got for $1. So I mean, why not? And then I've kind of been picking up cheap autos like you do. I got like a 90 Don Russ, Frank White.
Oh, that's nice, Frank White. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he was, defensively one of the best, and he always had a baseball school too that I remember. He was a good player. And then my favorite one that I got is Dennis Scott,
okay,
3D
with
for
the
the
Magic.
Magic.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, 3D. So he was a big player back in the early 90s for the Magic. So I always liked Dennis Scott. And then I bought a bunch of pages. This guy was selling pages with cards in them for a dime a piece.
wow.
So, I figure a page with some cards in is worth a dime. So I bought 300 of them.
Holy
And
cow.
yeah, it came in this giant box. But I got some old wrestling cards. So I don't know if you watched wrestling at all.
Oh yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So I got like some WCW cards from the late
Oh,
90s.
Goldberg. Yeah, right on.
Yeah, that's a Goldberg rookie. So I got two Goldberg rookies. And then that's cool. Goldberg was the man back then. And I got some others. I got Sting. I got a Sting card,
Yeah,
and Bret Hart. Got a Bret Hart, the
Hitman.
Hitman, and an old school NWA guy, Barry Windham. I don't know if you remember
Okay.
him. And then Mean Gene Okerlund. So I got a
He was
Mean
the
Gene
announcer,
Okerlund
right?
card. And then the last one, I had to keep this one. So this is a Miss Elizabeth card.
It's Elizabeth.
Yep. So
She was
her and
the Macho Man, right?
Macho Man. Yeah,
Yeah, right
there's a
on.
Macho Man over there somewhere. I just didn't pull it out, but um, just some cool cards, kind of. And I know wrestling is what it is, but I really got into it. Me and some college buddies would watch Monday Nitro every
Sure.
Monday night, and it was just before Raw, NWO, and WCW was a big deal. So we'd watch that every Monday and had big parties and watched it. So it was just cool to see those. And then the last ones I've got, my usual suspects. I got a Kellogg's Yaz card to add to the pile, and then an Allen and Ginter 2022 mini,
All
which is
right.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So just nothing real fancy or anything, but I was looking through those WCW cards yesterday, and I just thought they were really cool. So those are my cards of the week. I'm struggling to find new Yaz cards, and really, you know, we can segue into what you want to talk about a little bit, but I've kind of been kind of feeling a little bit of the same as you've been feeling lately. So,
Yeah.
why don't you give me some thoughts on what we talked about earlier in the week, Mark, as far as where you're sitting and what your mindset
Yeah.
is?
With like collecting, card collecting, it's like in a weird place. I mean, I enjoy doing the show and the interaction that we have. I'm just, I don't know, it's not to say burnout or uh I just find myself lately I don't like have that connection, like that tactile, like that engagement where I'm really like I get anything out of it. Like my few cards of the week, I got a local kid, I got, Alan from my buddy because I love the Bills, and Curtis Pride's deaf, so it's a tool for the kids.
Hmm.
And I just find that, just like in the sales and in that whole card hobby culture right now, it's just a lot of like hyperbole and a lot of noise and a lot of like for me, even like with my Luke Easters, they're in a box and they're there. I got a few cards, you probably seen them on the show up on the shelf that we have out because I don't want to overwhelm the household with my crap. But I just don't. It's not. I don't have that connection to it, and
Yeah.
I had a real run of odd people in sales and things like that,
Hmm.
and I just struggle to like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I
I
find, I
do.
say the cardboard, like the connection, like I talk to Chris Frank almost every other day, and Marty Klotz and Dom chimes in. I put up a guitar video the other day, and Dom was commenting on it, and I still talk to people, but the cardboard's out of it. I talk to you, so even without the cardboard, the relationship is still there. So it's like, do I need the
Right.
cardboard? No.
Right. Right. And I've kind of, you know, along the lines of what you're saying, I kind of feel the same. I'm now back into this for 5 years, and I'm never going to be a high dollar guy. I'm never going to be I'm going to get the 52 mantle or the 53 mantle or whatever. And I'm struggling now to figure out what I want to do with what I've got. Even I've got so many cards now, and my wife even kind of says, this is a little overwhelming. So what's your path forward? I haven't had the same experience for the most part that you've had with sales and buyers. So that is still fun for me.
Yeah.
But it's evolving into, do I want to what do I want to do with all this stuff, I guess. And the connection, you're right, it's not it's you see sales now and you got people, you know, you, there was one last night I was even talking with Marty about where it's just like it's people are so greedy,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of my issue is people are so greedy. And I'll admit I've been an all guy before, and all me, and I haven't done that as much recently. And I kind of, you know, I, I'm struggling to find the right way to put this, but I'm kind of burnt out on all that side of just seeing people how they're really acting and kind of the me first attitude. I've met some cool people doing this, you and Richard and Chris, the usual suspects. Marty, I
Right.
talk to Marty a lot. Um, there's several other people, but it's just, what do I do with what I have? Because I've got a lot now, and I need to figure out what I'm doing and focus it. I've got 5,000 1971s, Mark. I don't know what to do with all those. I've got almost as many 73 tops
All
baseball.
right.
Why do I have all this? And I've been asking myself that a lot the last couple of weeks. What am I going to do with all this stuff? So it's more that for me. I mean, I still love the cardboard. And I think I've always had a little bit more of a broad sense, or not a broad sense, but a broader collection landscape than you have. And you've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
With you don't really love the vintage stuff. You don't really, the old stuff. I do, but I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it. So, it's, am I burnout? Not burnout is not the right word, but I'm just a little disillusioned and a little rudderless, I guess is the best way
Right.
to put it. So, but I do, I felt bad I didn't see you when I went down to Orlando. When I come down again, I'm going to go out of my way to do that because
Oh,
I
no
had
worries. It's
I,
family
I
time,
had some
man.
time. I just, I didn't. It seems to me like you're doing your thing, and you're, you know, the guitar videos are awesome, man. We started talking about,
Yeah, I
talking
can
about jamming.
talk
So
about a
something
couple
like
of them.
that, man. I need to maybe focus a little bit more on something.
Yeah, you were Carry On My Wayward Son, and there you go, brother.
Oh yeah, let's go. That was awesome. That was
Put it
awesome, by
down,
the way.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
and then that's the thing too. Like part of like what I want to get to, like for me, like to get, I guess, like this Allen card, I'll have a connection to it because my buddy Kurt, my
yeah,
brother. So that resonates with me. But if you're not getting cards like that, then it doesn't really resonate with me. Like, these are some of my guitars. I have too many guitars, but I can tell you, you know, that in 1989, June 17th, that white guitar, you know, my
yeah,
wife got me that guitar, my birthday, 1989. That one right there, my daughter's birthday in 2012. That one, my birthday in 2019. That one in 2005,
right,
in March 23rd, 2005. So I remember, so I have that connection. I have that engagement. I can tell you everything about it, when I got it, where I got it. Um, you know, most of my cards, I don't
right,
know.
yeah,
No, I'll remember obviously like the Luke Easter Bob Bread, how I got it, selling all those cards and buying that and stepping up to the plate. But as far as a lot of them, I look at them like, well, I don't even remember,
yeah.
So it's like, what is that engagement level, if that makes sense?
It does. It does. I get it. I totally get it. And like I said, I've been having some of the same feelings, maybe not to the extent that you're having them, but you do start to wonder after a little while, okay, I've got all these cards. Um, and when I first got back into it, it was just stuff I wished I had as a kid, that I couldn't afford or that
Same here.
it was stuff that I wanted to have. And now that I've got most of what I want to have, okay, now what? What do
Right.
I do now? Do I turn this into a selling off of all the stuff that I've got? And I guess I'm always looking for deals, but when is enough enough? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I'm struggling with, is just an avalanche of stuff that I don't know what to do with all of it. So
Right. I thought when I unburdened myself with some of those 300 count boxes, I was like, oh, this is great.
yeah, yeah,
It went, it was easy. And the same guy has bought all three of them and he loves it and they were cheap and they're
right,
gone.
yeah,
So I mean that I enjoy. I might, maybe throw, but as far as like doing sales and that, I'm done for a while. It just got too weird.
yeah,
And I don't know why, but it just got too weird.
yeah. It definitely seems like your MO with the sales kind of, I don't know what happened, but you used to really be into it. And I think I don't blame you. You've had some run-ins with some real clowns. So I don't blame you for not wanting. You know,
Crazy.
I see behind the scenes stuff. I know what you've been through. So if that was happening to me, I'd be out. I'd just be like, look, I'm not going to
And
do this.
if I was into it for the money, it's one thing. It's like going into business. I'm all business, do property preservation and all that. And
Right.
I'd go do some houses that were just, oh, good Lord, and I'd had to deal with some people that I did work for, and it was money, it was my income, so you deal with it. So with cards, it's not. I think your patience level. I mean, you're not like a seller to live on, but make a couple bucks. So maybe your patience level is a little different, and some people that are like that's what they do. So then that's the nature of the game, that's the nature of the beast. So for me,
Right.
when I'm buy something, sell something to get something, I'm not looking to make money per se.
Right.
So when I have to deal with, you get 14, 15 buyers and three of them are, to be honest, wackos, it really kind of makes you like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's an interesting point you bring up. I think that I've kind of vacillated back and forth sometimes with how much about the money is this really for me. And I am retired. So it's probably a little bit more. I can use the money for different things that I make doing this, but at the same time, it's not all about the money. So I'm kind of in a weird area where it's somewhat about the money. And, I think you can tell by my pricing that it's not all about the money
Oh no,
because,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, that in and of itself kind of should tell people that I'm not. But I definitely think that it's always been a little bit more about the money for me than it has been for you. So maybe you're right. Maybe my patience level is a little bit higher. And, frankly, if somebody doesn't pay me, I move on and put them on my radar for removal,
Yeah.
if they keep doing it. So, I'm still into it. I've got to refocus, and I've really thought about not having any sales in July at all
Yeah.
and getting my collection organized and really kind of figure out what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. I mean, I don't need 3 1971 Topps baseball sets, and I'm supposed to having three. So,
You can buy
but,
something nice for mama.
right, right,
You
yes,
know, and
yeah,
that's the way I
yeah,
look at it. If I keep
yeah,
Mrs.
exactly,
Ford happy, my life is
yes,
good. It's things have happened. I've had a rough year, very rough year,
yeah,
professionally, personally. When she's happy, I don't care about
right,
nothing.
right, and that is
It's just,
important,
I'm lucky, I'm blessed. We've been together since 1988, high school sweethearts, all this, that, the other thing. But if she's rocking and rolling and happy, then I don't care.
right,
It's so funny because I remember when we were younger, I said, I'll clean toilets for a living. I don't care, whatever I got to do means to an end. Because I had dreams to play pro baseball and be a rock star and this, that, the other thing, which, the odds are slim. So I knew I had to do something. And what's so hilarious is that once I got into property preservation, doing vacant and foreclosed houses, brother, I have cleaned more freaking toilets than you can imagine. But the
yeah,
funny part is of that network of work, everything starts out at a price, and if you get it straight from the government and HUD work, it's awesome. They only take 15%. Then if you get it from a middleman, you get like 25, 30%. It's a whole racket.
right,
It's what's
right,
that movie? 29 houses or 29 homes or 99? I don't know. With Michael Shannon and they're flipping houses that were foreclosed. Anybody watch that movie? That's true. All that shit is true. But
yeah,
I again, silly story now to do with cardboard, but I used to get like $85 to clean the toilet. So if I go to do a big house and it has like 4 freaking bathrooms, man, I'm making $340, man. Sign me up, right? I clean
yeah,
toilets all day, $340. Hell yeah.
right, right. I'll clean
Right.
some toilets for $85 a pop.
Hell
Why
yeah,
not?
right. Now conversely, the refrigerator only get $50. And I'll tell you what, man, I spent more time puking in the bushes after opening up the refrigerator for my house that's been empty for like a
Oh
year. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
just like and one was so bad that Harley, she's a vegetarian now because of what was
Ooh.
going on with the meat inside the refrigerator. So that kid don't eat meat anymore.
Yeah, our refrigerator went out when I lived in fraternity house in college, and it was not good. It was not good.
But see, those are the
So I
things
get,
in life. Like you get to Johnny Cardboard. Some of the people that I'm not gonna name names, but these people are just like, really, man. It's like, bro,
yeah,
I've cleaned toilets. I've freaking murder houses. The last 4 houses I did were all like double, triple, quadruple homicides.
right,
It's just like you're gonna jazz me up over some freaking baseball card. It's like,
right,
God,
right. And I
give
and
me
I
a break.
definitely think you can tell when people are in it solely for the money. As far as the cardboard now, you know, it's easy to tell, and it's easy to kind of make that distinction. And you're right. I mean, it's kind of icky, really. I mean, when it's
One thing
all
I'm
about the
into
money. Yeah. So
is and again from being a teacher and I found it on my trip up to Buffalo, I didn't find baseball cards. I got some really cool books. So I've always been a book collector, even back when I was younger. I
yeah,
was like books, literature. I remember the first book I read was, Voyage of the Enola Gay. I was like 7 years old. My dad's like, "What the hell are you reading?"
right. Mine
About
was
the
the
fun.
Amityville Horror. I read the
Oh, there you
Amityville
go.
Horror when I was like 8.
And then I followed it up with the Ted Williams story. So I
Yeah,
lived in the middle of nowhere, but that was where my connection to baseball began. I found out, and again, we've mentioned this before. Baseball literature is amazing. Some of the finest books, and I think that's another thing too that hurts, like me collecting or in the hobby in general, is that thread of like, they played the game and voices of the game and the Ted Williams story and all these books that have been written. and ball four, and on and on and on and
Yeah.
on and on. That thread is like gone. That literature, historical, cultural component that, like, hey man, I want to go get this baseball card because, does that make sense?
Yeah, you want it to be more esoteric and the more seamless between the history of the game and the cardboard. And the cardboard doesn't always, it does some, but it doesn't always speak
Right.
the
Are they
same.
going to write mythical stories or these books? Let's say, are they going to do they played the game 20, 30 years from now, and these guys? No.
Probably not.
And also, too,
Probably
because
not.
everything's social media, you got 9,000 channels of TV, you see this, you see that. There's no mystery, if that
Right.
makes sense. There's no mystery to it. Whereas I
Right.
still,
And I
think with
think you're right. I think,
music, literature, there's still a little bit of mystery and mystique. I say, you're talking about Beth Hart. I stumbled on her a few months back. Blues singer, did a great Led Zeppelin tribute album. Um, you know, she's been around forever, but I didn't know about her. But now I
right.
do. So I think that like collectibles, cardboard, baseball cards, all that. Um, what's the new frontier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that way a little bit about the sport itself. You watch baseball now, and I could be in the minority, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. The strategy is not the same. And you're right. I mean, you bring up a good point, something I've never thought about. What kind of books are they going to write about what's happening now? I mean, do people even write books anymore, really, about nonfiction?
Right,
Well, I mean,
exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I understand. Right, it's
you
different.
know, everybody wants to write the next great, Game of Thrones or Harry Potter or whatever, but who's going to take the time to write good nonfiction? I mean,
Right.
it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot new. So I think a lot of the history of it's, as we get further and further along in time,
Right.
kind of gets lost.
And
And
yeah, like as an English teacher, I could say like I have a book here. This is cool. This checks a lot of boxes. It's from 1929. It's called South Moon Under. It's by Marjorie Kennan Rawlings. She did Cross Creek. She wrote The
yeah,
Yearling. Florida writer.
I've heard the name
Books.
before for
Yeah,
sure.
Marjorie Kennan Rawlings. Great book. So this is very hard to find. It's a fabulous book. If you want to learn about Florida back in the day, the crackers, South
Yeah,
Moon Under. Well, this is a first edition, South Moon Under. All right. So
nice.
this, right, I treasure. I have all of her books that she wrote, 9 or 10, all first editions, and I haunted. And that's why. So for me, that was something that was achievable. I could have bought on eBay, but it didn't have that same connection. So me and Harley be out doing houses. We'd stop at an old bookstore somewhere, and I'd find the book. So I mean, I found this, and again, I can tell you exactly. I got this in Flagler Beach. The bookstore is not there anymore, and I paid $35 for it. And I go, you sure, $35? And I'm like, give me the book, the first edition, freaking Rawlings.
Yeah.
That's like a
Are
$400
you
book.
the shop
Which I
owners
don't
asked me,
care.
are you sure?
So again, if they ever need to make some fast money because dad collapses and dies or something, they can sell my books. They're gonna get a hell of a lot more money for my books than my baseball cards.
Right, right. Yeah, that's another thing too. I wonder sometimes if anybody knows what to do with my stuff if something happened to me. That's I need to work on a plan for that just in case. But
Or
yeah,
be
I'm
morbid,
sure I know,
right?
right? Here we go down the
I
morbid
just
path,
had a
but
birthday, the double nickel. Jesus,
yeah,
shoot me,
going by
55.
quick,
God
isn't it?
damn, who
Yeah.
needs that? But
It's going,
I'm still, I'm still doing all right, So that's
yeah.
I'm proud of that fact.
Well, this show right here today has been more stream of consciousness, I think, than we've ever had. In my opinion,
Yeah,
and we're not, I think we're both into doing the show still, like you said, but I think it's gonna evolve a little bit.
yeah. We need some
You know,
guests. I love the show, love the people. We'll get some guests on. I mean, I got some feelers out there for some good guests, and
okay,
try to take it to a different level instead of
sure,
us rattling on about our baseball card woes.
right, right, because yeah, and I mean, it's you and I have both had our share of trials and tribulations with this lately, but
But my
and some of the
story
guests,
about that band that kind of relates to how I feel about card collecting right now.
yeah,
Just that
yeah.
those guys are out to lunch.
Right, right. What
Yeah,
else do you got?
I'm gonna tell that story real quick. 'Cause I promised it
Okay.
on the page. So, anyways, the last band that I was playing in New York, it didn't work out. They said I was like CC DeVille, and they're like playing Dave Mason and Traffic and all this crap, and it was real ponderous, Grateful Dead, and so they're like, "Man, you're like CC DeVille," and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And they told me I was like CC DeVille for Poison. So we moved down here to Florida, and this was in 2019. I thought it was longer ago, but when I was talking with Craig, I realized it wasn't that long ago. So these guys are looking for a guitar player, and there's a Craigslist ad. So I answered the ads. So they sent me, they're making an album, demos, this, that, the other thing. And so they sent me the tracks, lay some guitar over it. And I sent something to Greg, and he can chime in on how awful it is after I get done here. So,
Oh yeah.
so I laid out some guitar, and it's really actually pretty good. Like, but the music sucks. But I didn't care. I'm playing music. I'll play anything right now, because it's what the hell. I got these guitars. I'm going to use them. So, they loved it. They're going crazy. These guys are out of Ocala. And they're like, well, now we get together. So I go, one question. I go, what's the name of the band? This is 2019, okay? And
Yeah.
he goes, Uncle Jerry and the Short Bus Kids. And I
Yeah.
went, say what? Yeah, Uncle Jerry and the Short Bus Kids. Let me send you the album art.
Yeah.
You can imagine, okay? And
Oh
I
yeah.
just went, no, I'm out. And they're like, the guy got like pissed. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, you can't be like that. Like, are you kidding me? That's terrible.
Not today. That'd be the first thing the record company tell you to do is change
Oh
your
my
band name.
God. So anyway, I was like, no,
Instant cancel.
I'm out. Don't, if you ever put this shit out, just don't put my name on the album. I don't want if
Right.
you ever put this out, man, don't put my name on that thing. So it was like, holy cow. I don't think it's ever come out, but oh my Lord, it was like,
Have you ever
holy
Googled them to see?
I'm gonna check them out today. Uncle Jerry and the Short Bus Kids. Like, what planet are you on, people?
Right. Yeah.
Could
In
you
this day
imagine?
and
So
age, you
now I'm
can't have
working in an
that.
alternative, right? I'm in an alternative, charter high school. I'm a teacher, and oh my God, if that would have come, that would be like scandal. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I said no.
Me
But the
too.
thing is I was desperate to like recapture some of that glory from like 88, 89, 90. And I really was at that time. I was playing and playing and playing and playing. And I really wanted it. But common sense and propriety and just being a human being said, no, this is not
Yeah.
going to work. And
Well,
so it
real
was
life
similar.
probably smacked you a little bit too.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I can continue to do this, or now you've got a wife, and I'm assuming,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, children on the way. So you're like, all right, some priorities maybe. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but you still wail, man. And
Thank
I
you.
need to get on the drums. I need to get on the
Yeah.
drums.
Well,
Get
hey, that other guy was it Westerholt or whatever it
Yeah,
was. He said
Josh.
he's gonna come down, man. If he ever does, we'll light it up, man. I'll road you up. I'll have to get a U-Haul to bring all my gear, but
Right. I got to find
well,
some drums somewhere. So
there you go. Hey, sell some cards to get some drums. There you
maybe,
go.
maybe
There
that's
you
not a
go.
bad
Swap.
idea.
That's an idea. Now you can get some drums. It's something. Sell something to get something. Something in,
Right,
something out.
right.
Right.
Well, all right. Here's let's make a commitment to our viewers, because I do get messages a lot. When are y'all doing the next show? We love it. I miss it. Blah blah blah. Let's make a commitment to try to do this once a week
Or not.
for the rest of the summer,
Yeah,
and we
I
can
can do it. Yeah.
as long as it's doable, as
Yeah.
long as it's doable. Because I want to do it. I still love doing the show, Mark. Um, we don't have to talk about cardboard if you don't want to. We can just talk about
No,
whatever.
I still, I'm still, it's a component, it's just
Yeah.
streaming card content. So usually we pop up a card and we end up talking about something else,
Right.
so I think the
Right.
beauty of the show is it's more general. We're not like Mike Moynihan and, oh, yeah, with the journey and we're going to preach and educate and teach. And
Yeah.
no, people know what they're doing. They know what's going on. They don't need to
Right.
hear me pontificate on, what the greatest card set of all time is or whatever, because who cares?
Yeah, and that's all subjective anyway. Everybody
Right.
has their own answer.
Yeah.
So,
You
yeah,
know?
I don't dig when people do that kind of stuff either. It's not. It's like, who cares? Who gives a shit what you think about what the best card set of all time is?
Right.
I, I thought that's what we needed to do at first,
Mhm.
just to just to establish
I
something,
love
but
1990 tops. So I mean,
right.
that's not that's like Poison. That's a CC DeVille of freaking baseball cards. So there you
Right.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have an affinity for 91 Fleer as well, which most people don't.
Yeah, I mean,
So
exactly. The yellow, it's like, that's the warrant. The warrant of baseball cards is 91 Fleer.
some cherry pie for you, right?
Yeah, right on Uncle Tom's
That's
Cabin,
pretty funny.
you know.
So I don't really, I mean, I don't really have any shout outs this week. I mean, I'd have a few shout downs, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So,
not today. Good,
it's
good.
keep it good. So
All right, it was good to catch up again, and we'll get this out today. And
happy 4th of
everybody,
July. Look, happy
right,
4th of July, a day late, man.
right
I,
on.
yeah. How are the dogs? You got a fireworks everywhere? Or,
The hearing dog back there, she went ballistic all night. Yeah, the Deffies, the Dalmatians, they shit, they didn't care. They were
yeah.
like, fireworks, whatever. I can see them, but I can't hear them. So,
Right.
yeah,
Scout's
they
funny.
didn't
Look at
care.
her.
Hmm?
That dog loves being on camera.
Scout, yeah, Scout loves it. I keep it just because I got laundry and this, that, the other thing going in the house, trying to pay attention to the details and stuff. And
Right on.
I didn't want all that background noise. And honestly, it's a little hot out there, and I start sweating, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to try to look semi decent.
Well, you look great, Mark.
Thank you, bro. Well, I got some more hair going on up there because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been
Is it
taking this.
actually working?
See, Nutrafoil. Holy crap,
Is
brother!
it working?
Mine's
I need
working. I'm
some.
telling you, man. I'm telling you, this stuff I've been taking,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look like a damn chia pet here pretty soon. It's gonna be crazy. It's
Well,
gonna
we
be.
need some before and after pictures, so take one.
Oh, I've been keeping track. It's
Have you?
for real. I'm like,
Is
what
it
the
working?
heck? This shit works. I'm like, what the hell? This is working. So
Well,
yeah,
nice.
I'll pop that on the show page once I get a little more. It's not quite where I want to be yet. A little shiny still. But I got some weeds underneath there. I got some weeds
Nice.
in the flower bed.
Nice. Well, good for you, man. Good for you. I may have to follow your lead. All right,
Nutrafol.
let's wrap
Woo.
it up, man.
All right.
This has been
Yep.
fun, actually. It's
All
been
right,
fun.
everybody. Thank you for watching, and we will be back next week.
Thanks, everybody.